Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. And if you're new here, well, that's exactly what I do. Now, I've had a little change around. Normally I'm filming over in that angle of the studio, as I've got the cameras in the background. Today I'm filming over this way, simply because I want to talk about a new computer that I've purchased, which is actually on my desk over here. And it is the Apple M2 Mac Mini, the base edition, which is here. And the reason why I've got two of them, well, actually, I had three of them. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this video for. I purchased one, but I've had no end of problems with the first one I purchased. Well, I didn't have any problems with it. It didn't work. I took it straight out of the box, plugged it in, no power. I did try two different mains leads. I tried extension sockets. I tried all the obvious things, but yeah, no power. So phoned Amazon up. They were very good actually, and they sent out a replacement before they had the other one back. And I say the other one because this isn't the first one or the second one. So they sent a second one out. That was fine to a degree, but the USB ports didn't work on that one, and neither did the HDMI port. The only two ports that worked were the two Thunderbolt 4 ports. On the back of the unit here, it's got two Thunderbolt 4 ports, stroke USB-C, whatever you might want to call them. But yeah, that one didn't work either. So I had to phone Amazon up. They wouldn't send out another replacement. So I bought a third one, and the third one is actually working. This one was also going to go back to Amazon, but I thought before I send it back, I use it as my demo unit. Now I got over here the M2 Mac Mini. I'm using my M1 Mac Mini over there. I love it. I've been using it for well over a year now. I absolutely adore that computer. And I've always said to people since I've had it, don't worry about only having 8 gig of RAM. It works absolutely fine. I'm sure there will be bottlenecks if you're doing mass color grading and you're doing lots of effects and that kind of thing with video editing and even with photo editing. I'm not. So I'm filming with 4 cameras today. So I'm using the Canon RP with a 50mm RF lens on, and that's being fed into my Ninja 5. I'm actually filming in HD simply because of convenience. I can feed it out to the Ninja 5. I don't have to worry about the 30-minute record limit, and that's why I'm using the Ninja 5. That's working great. I've got my Canon R10 here, getting the wide shot. That's got the Canon RF 16mm lens fitted to it, which is great. That's working the treat. I use that all the time here in the studio. Then over there, I've got my Nikon Z30 with a Nikon Z28mm lens fitted to that one over there. And then the close-up shots, in this case, getting the M2 Mac Mini, are being filmed on my Sony ZV-1. So that's basically the cameras that I'm using for today. I purchased the M2 Mac Mini, not to replace my M1 Mac Mini. I'll still be using that probably as my main edit program over there, edit computer, which is over in the corner over there. I purchased the M2 Mac Mini as an add-on because I do a lot of audio capture, I do a lot of video tape capture from old analog tapes. So I wanted another computer set up over here, and that is working great. The M2 Mac Mini, even with old analog tapes going into Final Cut Pro, captures them beautifully. I've had to use various adapters to adapt the FireWire output, but other than that, working fine. So I've got a FireWire input via adapters going into one of the Thunderbolt ports on the back, and I've actually running my display off the other Thunderbolt port, but it has got HDMI port on the back as well, which is really good. 2 USB ports on the back just there, and it's got Ethernet port, which is either 1 gig or 10 gig. You have to pay extra if you want the 10 gig Ethernet port. I only went for the standard because I don't use the ports. I use Wi-Fi and obviously the mains connection. So it's all in a really, really compact case. Nicely made, exactly the same basically as the M1 Mac Mini. And I think all the connections are the same as the M1 Mac Mini. It has got a fan on the back here. I actually don't ever hear it running. It is really, really silent running. So yeah, great computer. But as I say, are there quality control issues at Apple. I'd be interested if any of my viewers have had similar experiences with, buying a brand new M2 or even M1 Mac Mini and finding that there's a fault with it the minute you take it out of the box. And as I say, was I really unlucky to get 2 out of 3 that didn't work? I hope I was unlucky, but that's really odd to get 2 out of 3. I've been using Apple products for many, many years, and I've never had this happen before. It really hasn't happened before, but there you go. But I am delighted with my new purchase. I'm really getting on well with it. I thought I would do, well, I knew I would do, because I get on so well with the M1 Mac Mini over there. But multitasking is fine. I mean, it's early days yet as to, if it's going to be faster than the M1. I very much doubt whether I personally will notice any difference. But it's really early days yet, so I'm not going to go into any detail about its speed and, all the other features that the M2 Mac Mini has. Multitasking is fine with the M2 Mac Mini as it is with the M1 Mac Mini. So you don't need to worry about only having 8 gig of RAM. As I said earlier, it will be an issue if you're doing some heavy color grading with video editing, or you're doing, heavy photo editing, or you might have loads of apps open in Chrome, or even Safari. But for what I use it for, the 8 gig of RAM is fine. I mean, I can edit my photos in Lightroom, no problem whatsoever. I can even, I can load up another program, Luminar Neo I use a lot. Let's just go into Luminar Neo. That isn't open yet. That's going to load that absolutely fine. Create a copy or create a copy before it opens up. But yeah, that'll load up in the background. It's quite fast. I don't have any crashes. It's working great. So there we are. It's loaded Luminar Neo. I've gone into the edit module. Let's replace the sky. Let's put the sky in. You can change all sorts of skies. It comes with loads of them. You can see how quick it's done that. No problem with it whatsoever. And that's multitasking. It's running a lot of different programs in the background, and it's still doing that without an issue. I'm also running a screen capture program. So, it's all working great. Now, with Luminar Neo, it's a great program, actually. It's a photo editing bit of software, and I use it for sky replacement. I also use it for enhancement. You can adjust your color, brightness, contrast. You can remove objects. It's a really, really good bit of program. It's a really great program. And a really, really good value program. Now, I will leave a link in the description where you can download a trial version. If you do decide you want to purchase it, use the code AVP to get $10 off. That helps me, but it will certainly help you. It's a great bit of software. So we click on apply now, that'll process it, and that'll load it straight back into Lightroom and save it as well. So, and that's really good. And that's working absolutely fine. So I've got no problems with that at all. We can go into DaVinci Resolve, that's open as well. This is a standard definition tape that I captured earlier for a customer, and everything's working completely fine there. So no problems with using this computer on a daily basis for all your creative work, multitasking, even with only 8 gig of RAM. It's working fine. And as I said earlier, I have got a screen capture program running in the background. So I will do more videos to do with the M2 Mac Mini later on, once I've used it more. I've not used it enough really to get a good feel of it. But as I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to be very, very similar, if not identical, to using my M1. I don't think I'm going to notice any difference. But yeah, highly recommend Apple products if you're into the creative world, and highly recommend the M2 Mac Mini. So there we go. But I am interested what you guys think. Have you had any experiences with, defective Apple products when you take them out of a box? Has their quality control dropped, or was I just unlucky? I don't know. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content of my videos. Would really, really appreciate that. And stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography, podcasting, so on and so forth. Cheers for now. Bye.